Hello. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Hi, family. Hi, family. Come on in. See if a few of you guys will come on in here before we start today's class, today's video. Wait for a few of you guys to come in here. How you guys feeling today? How are you doing? I know it's a weird time. You normally do not see me at this time. So I will see if a few of you guys will come in. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Mic check 1, 2. Let me know if you can hear me okay. So happy Sunday, guys. Happy Sunday. I'm still a bit under the weather, but I'm going to power through. Guys, please go and subscribe to my new YouTube channel. The handle is at Karmic Justice TV. So it's in the description. And we're going to do a premiere right after this at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So roughly in about 50 minutes, we're going to head over there. Hi, April. Guys, we're about to get into it. This conversation today is only if you have your big boy britches on and your big woman panties on today. That's what this conversation is about. It's about to get deep, and I'm going to tell you why DNA matters. Nothing is by accident, guys. Nothing is by accident. We're going to get into this new series that I'm calling DNA Wars. And we're going to talk about it based off of everything that's happening around us in the Trump administration, how people are saying they want to bring back segregation. But I'm here to tell you what's truly going on, because once we strip and peel everything back, what is it that we're looking at? We are looking at the DNA templates. And I'm absolutely here to say that Black people, your white DNA has something to say, something it wants to tell you. But are you listening? This is the conversation today. And there's no way I can do this all in one video, but I want to start the conversation. We're going to take our time with this because this is not meant to be some sort of pump and dump video just to receive views. This is to really receive the true healing. This is to receive the true healing that I think that Black people for centuries have wanted. And we've been told to look at religion. That's the way. Look at this God or that God. That's the way. Go and march. That's the way. Protest. No, that's the way. Hate people that don't look like you. That's the way. But no one has ever told us that the answer lies right within your own DNA, your own instructions. This is what we're going to talk about. We're going to start the conversation today, and this is a video for everyone because just as much as Black people, your white DNA has something to say. White people, your Black DNA also has something to say. Do you see where I'm going with this? This is so revolutionary. I didn't even know this was a thing until I knew it was a thing. Hi, everyone. Hi, Carolyn. Hi, beautiful. Hi, Gail, my lovely sister. Hi, Amar. Hi, April. Once again, guys, we're going to jump into this. And then, roughly in about 48 minutes, we're going to head over to at Karmic Justice TV, my new channel, just so that we can watch this, this new concept that is being created. in this moment, guys. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get the conversation started. And if guys, if you did not see the video from yesterday, what you're seeking is also seeking you too. This is the most profound, one of the most profound videos I think that I've done on this channel. It really does broaden your perspective on, how to really get the life that you want. And it breaks it down on a scientific subconscious level. So please do watch that video as well. Let's jump and dive right into this information today. I'm going to call this new series DNA Wars. Guys, please subscribe to my new channel. Do it now, please. Oh, I'm serious, guys. We have to support each other. I put a lot of work in. And also, too, it's going to be used as a backup channel because I do talk about some racy things sometimes on this channel. So just in case this channel is ever in trouble or on the naughty list, please, that's also going to serve as a backup channel. So please, you want to be watching and click all notifications on at Karmic Justice TV or Karmic Justice TV as well, guys. All right. Let's jump into this video. And I want everyone, I'm going to do a bit meditation so we can get started and dive right into this information. And if you guys are with me right now, I'd like you to just become present with the breath. And if you want to just put hands to heart, put feet, soles of the feet to floor, get rooted and grounded in to the divine breath of life. There's DNA instructions right in there. And take a deep breath in, diaphragmatic breath. Hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it slowly and deeply at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax every bit of you, mind, body, soul, spirit, consciousness, and release. Ooh, I'm feeling tingling sensations in the soles of my feet. Not sure if you guys are feeling it, but just connect to breath. Connect to breath. All right, here we go. How did the conversation start? Black people, your white DNA has something to say. I was talking to my brother the other day, and I have to give you guys a background about a little bit about our history, right? So it's no secret that on an average, a Black American has roughly around 20% European or white DNA. Some have more and some have less. I believe my family has a little more, anywhere from 25 to 35% Caucasian DNA. So I don't take DNA tests because I don't believe in it, but I do have a record of my family lineage. And most of the European DNA comes from my mother's side, my father's side to be exact. There's Irish and Scottish and all of that. There's Great Britain on my father's side, right? So I can speak on this because I feel it very strongly on a deep level. And we're going to take our time with this. So today we're going to start the conversation. And so I was talking to my brother the other day, and I don't know how we got on this conversation, but he was just talking to me about how he feels and how he's doing. And he just made a point. He was like, sometimes when I look at really, really dark-skinned people, because he's fair, like if you were to look at my brother, he would look more Puerto Rican, or possibly Arab. Um, he was saying, sometimes when I look at movies or I'll see, certain dark-skinned people, they'll be outside doing, they'll be at the gym or they'll be outside playing basketball. And sometimes I look at them and I think to myself, they are who I should be. And I never knew, my brother is a confident man, but I never knew that he felt that way. I never knew that he had this insecurity. He's like, yeah, this is why I keep myself healthy. I keep myself active. I drink a lot of water. He's like, but what I notice is what they are naturally is what I have to keep myself healthy in order to be. And that was profound that he said that. And it made me think. It made me think. And I'm like, yeah, I can actually, resonate with that. Um, I grew up with like a skin problem, right? So I don't even know if you call it vitiligo. It was kind of like what Michael Jackson has. I did not have a severe case, but when I was younger, when I was a child, rather, well, when I was a baby, I was quite light. But then as I was like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, you're always outside in the sun, I became dark skin, right? And my skin became kind of had light patches and dark patches. It felt that it was at war with itself, that it didn't know if it wanted to lean more on the whiter, lighter side or more on the darker side. And it really gave me an insecurity for some time. And by the time I was 12, I started noticing that the patches started to even out. And then my skin became the color that it is today. But there were 6, 7 years or so where my DNA was at war with itself. And I remembered that and it made me think about that. And then also too, I look at because my mother's side of the family, they always had like varicose veins issues, right? And I inherited that from my mother, which has more of the white DNA, right? And sometimes and I get LASIK. I've had mine LASIKed, right? So it's not an issue anymore. But I would joke of my varicose veins. I would joke. I'd be like, yeah, that's I got white people's problems. I would just joke. I would make a joke because it's something that I had a deep insecurity about. Because like I knew where that was coming from that part of my DNA. So I would just make a joke about it. Yeah, that's just my white DNA. Don't mind it. And he really started the conversation. So then after we did a little hee about it, the conversation went a little bit deeper. And he's like, yeah, and also if I'm being honest, sometimes I don't feel as mentally sound as I should. And I'm like, well, what do you mean by that? Well, sometimes, I just see that I feel that people that are of a darker hue, they they're a little bit more sound-minded. They have less depression, less anxiety, less kind of, um, mental anguish, if you will. They can control their emotions a little bit better. So then now the conversation started to get real because now we're talking about mental health. And it was something that I have actually struggled with for the most of my life, I've struggled with mental health. And it wasn't until I really came in to my own I am awareness that those things haven't been an issue for quite some time. But in my younger years, the depression and anxiety was so prevalent, and also to the dramatic swing of emotions. And I think at that point, we had no choice but to talk about where we felt it was coming from. And we knew that it was coming from our mother's lineage. So my mother is, I don't know if you guys might not be able to see the picture. She's the one in the front. Her skin is white, right? I mean, you know, if you have any sort of black DNA, you're going to be called black, which is fine. But her skin is white. We're talking about skin, right? And my father's skin is really, really dark, right? So me and my brother are having this conversation is getting deep because it became pretty obvious to us where these kind of this mental anguish. I don't even want to say it's deeper than mental health, where the mental anguish is coming from. And we start to think about some people that are on our mother's side of the family, and we start to notice that they too have these same sort of spats, or, they're just not as mentally sound as the other part of our family. And it was a conversation that we didn't know we needed to have. It was a conversation that we didn't even know it was going. All we knew is that it got deep real fast. And, I heard from spirit, I heard from source, and source was saying, it's because your white DNA has something to say. I listened in and I listened in and felt within my own body, and I heard my white DNA say, I'm sorry. I heard it say, I'm sorry. And at that point, I did not go further with the conversation. We will be diving into this DNA wars and we will go further. I would like to have all of the girls, since we are all, most of us are Black Americans, um, and we all have European DNA. I would love for us to do a group reading on this just to see what it wants to say as a whole collective. But see, guys, we are in such a pivotal point in the history of humanity. We are moving from one age to the next. When you go from one age to the next, you have to clear up any karma, any karmic ties, karmic debt, karmic imprints. This is what is going on. So, this epiphany that I had of the reason why Black people feel as if they've been getting the short end of the stick, the reason why Black people cannot seem to, as a collective, find the healing that they want. Why do they seem to always go back to the conversation of slavery, right? Or indentured servitude or Jim Crow, right? You see where I'm going? It's always going back to the trauma. Why do we keep going back to the trauma? And then in that moment, it's because we have been told that no, if you have 5% African or Black DNA, then you are Black. We always are told just to skim over, forget about your European DNA, because by the way, European DNA is the one that has oppressed you. We were always taught and told not to accept it. But when me and my brother had that conversation, it became very clear that there was an aspect of us that wanted to be heard. The very aspect that they told you never to pay attention to. Black people, your white DNA has something to say, but are you listening? It wants to help you find healing. We haven't found it outside yet. We haven't found it in external things. This is where we are. Humanity always has to go back within at the end of an age in order to now expand without, in order to have a rebirth. We can't get past the race relations in this country. Remember a few months ago when I start talking about the Aboriginals, the Moors, the indigenous Aboriginal Americans? Remember, I was talking about race, and then what happened at the Super Bowl? The whole thing was on center stage. It was all about us revisiting the 40 acres and a mule. It was about us revisiting race relations. And remember, I said the reason why Donald Trump is back is because there's an aspect or part of the code, part of the DNA as it involves race relations, in particular, as it involves the history of the Black and white DNA wars that has been taking place on this land. This is why Donald Trump is back, because he provides the correct energy signature for humanity to look into that collective template, open it up. He's opening it up. So when he gets on there and says certain things, and he enacts certain laws, and that people are saying, oh, well, now we can have segregation back because of certain laws that I think he signed out, right? The reason why that's happening is because Black people, your white DNA has something to say, but are you listening? We have to have this. We have to have the confrontation. We have to see it. Otherwise, we will take this into the new age, into the new earth. And guess what? We'll be dealing with race all over again. But that's not the way it's supposed to go. Because in truth, guys, we're in a technological age where we will partner with AI. People will have spouses, girlfriends, and boyfriends that are not human. It's going to happen. So, how can we still be hung up on a skin color if even in the new timeline, people will, people already marry inanimate objects, so to speak, trees, well, not inanimate, but things that are not human. So, what I am saying is there will be more of that. So we are looking in a template. This is why Trump is here. This is why the laws are changing. This is why on the world stage, even when Trump was at the Super Bowl, which I keep telling you, every time Trump takes center stage, it feels in the energy that there is still an election going on. It may not be the election to choose him, but what we're looking at is public opinion. What we're looking at is there are issues on the ballot. That whole Super Bowl was what I'm talking about here. It is the DNA wars between the black and the white DNA. And when I say black, I think I'm mixing a lot of things in there because back in the day it was just colored, right? And then white. So there's a lot in that, right? These are the things on the ballot that humanity is still on the fence about. Humanity is still voting for. Humanity is still trying to figure out what's right and what is wrong. And if you notice, you see a lot of people online, and actually a lot of Caucasian people are online speaking against the whole segregation thing. It's not even Black folks that care. It's not even Black folks that care because, in truth, segregation used to protect what we call the Black dollar. And if you don't think it's politically correct to use those words, Trump even uses words like that, Black jobs, right? Black dollar, Black jobs, all of that. So Black people as a collective have over $1 trillion of buying power. But the Black dollar, what that means is Black people, their money only stays circulating in the Black community for only 6 hours. And then the wealth goes back out to the different nationalities that make up this world. And so the segregation, some Black people online feel that the segregation will be good because it will force Black people to now spend money within the community, therefore bringing up, bringing up Black people, helping Black businesses grow and expand, right? So some people feel it's a good thing, but we see that there's a lot of white people actually speaking out about this. And in truth, how would that even really work? I mean, we're all just so integrated. We know it's not supposed to work. What it is a talking point to get us to look at the template. Because like I said, when you see Trump talking, when you see him at these global or national events, it's because there are still things on the ballot that we, the people, are deciding. And we, the people, right now are taking a look into the DNA. And particularly, Black people are to take a listen into what their white DNA wants to say to them in this moment for healing, for expansion. This is the only way out because otherwise, we will still just keep ourselves in the karmic loop, going back to the time when you were oppressed heavily more, going back to Jim Crow, going back to slavery. And you hear a lot of people They'll say, "Why can't you just get over it?" And that gets annoying, right? When people say that, "Why can't you just get over it?" The reason why you can't get over it is because it's still on the ballot. It's now being opened up in the template for us to heal it once and for all. And that answers your question of why you can't get over it, because it must be healed. In order to truly ascend to the new earth, to 5D consciousness, you can't just get over it. You have to heal it. And then you become whole. And because we share DNA, when Black people listen in to what their white DNA has to say, it also frees the white DNA from what a lot of people online call white guilt. I've even seen some videos like that. And I thought, to be honest, I thought it was strange. I was like, what is this? Like, why are they doing this? I saw, some white people online apologizing to Black people for everything that has happened. And I was like, are they trying to gaslight them? Like, what's going on? I thought it was strange. I didn't understand. Maybe they had come to this point that I'm getting to right now. But what Source is truly saying is that Black people, your white DNA wants to heal you. It wants to speak to you. It wants to tell its side of the story. But are you listening? Because they told us never to listen to your white DNA. Never accept that part of you. Because after all, if you have 5% Black or African DNA, you in this country, you are Black. That one drop rule, right? But no, Source is saying you must listen. Even if you have 1% European DNA, you must listen because we will not heal this and none of us will expand. White people won't expand, Black people, Asian people, Arab people, Hispanic people, because we're all different variations of white and Black. Nobody gets to a get out of jail card. No one gets to pass go unless this is healed. And that's why Trump is back, putting it in your face so that you can see what still needs to be healed. What else is on our checklist before we get to New Earth frequency? Oh, this race thing looks pretty bad. Let's open that back up. Cue in Trump. Trump enact all of this racist stuff so that we can see into the template. That's all that this is. Source divine uses everything as a tool for the greater expression of itself. So when we went to Arizona, guys, subscribe to Karmic Justice TV, and in about 25 minutes, we're gonna head over there and watch the premiere, right? So the handle's in the description or in the title. But guys, so when we were all, me and my sisters, when we were all in Arizona, and we were, on Navajo land. And when we were in Sedona, we had just a spiritually transformative experience. Literally, a lot of us remembered. We started getting the past life memories, and I could feel it visibly in my body. And all of that cellular data that's stored in the subconscious just came rushing in, and I understood everything completely. What we were doing is we were looking into our DNA. Even if you have 1%, I don't care if you have less than 1% of Native American DNA, Black DNA, white DNA. Even though most of us are showing up as Black women in this lifetime, we were examining a very small portion of our DNA from that particular tribe. But look how much data, when we opened it up, it told a story of us being in the Trail of Tears. It told a story of us, our village being pillaged, of lots of hardship, us being scattered, trauma. It's the same thing here. If I'm examining such a small percentage of that DNA from that specific tribe that's inside of me, then how much more data, Black people, could you get by opening up your own white DNA? Because some of us have up to 50% or even more European DNA, but you're told to just check that box Black. They do not want you looking at those codes. Because once you really listen in to your white DNA, you're going to heal. And when you heal, you will no longer be held down by the oppressive lie. This is the conversation. And I hope that I'm doing it in a tactful way because this has to get done in order for us to grow and expand. I like to come up here and do light videos and celebrity videos, but sometimes Source calls for the hard stuff. This is the hard stuff. It's easy for us to come on here and do psychic readings on celebrities and even world readings as a collective. But when it's personal, this is personal, right? This is personal between Black and white people in this country. This is now personal. Can we now sit with each other within ourselves with all of our guards down and truly, truly have the conversation and listen in to what the polarity of yourself wants to say? It gets deep. This is where we are. It's getting very, very deep. Let me see if I can get some messages um, really quickly. Give me one moment. Oh boy. All right. Give me one moment. If anyone has any questions, this moment of time, let me know. Let me know. There was something else that I wanted to say as well, but give me a second. Let me fill around for some messages here. I'm hearing the Tower of Babel is falling. There was something going on, guys. I had a vision about maybe 6 or 7 days ago, and I saw Trump kind of just over, like, just standing over a scene, and he was looking off to the side. He was looking victorious. And then I saw a woman laying down on the ground, and she had on a red shirt, but it looked more like it was a flag. It looked more like it was a country, a flag of a particular country. Now, I don't know if it was a Canadian or Korean of some sort, or even a China flag, but the woman was wearing the shirt or the flag, and it was a Black woman. And you know what it made me think about? It made me think about the Statue of Liberty. Because when France originally gifted the United States with the Statue of Liberty, it was actually in the depiction of a Black woman that was on the ground. And Trump was above the scene and he was in the energy of being victorious. And it makes me think about that. And today, I don't want to go deeper into that vision, but I want to set the stage because we're going to continue the conversation. But it's not only do we need to look into the Black DNA, but we got to look into the Black woman, because when we go back, she holds some very, very powerful codes as we get back to the beginning of creation. So I think that's where we need to go. And that red kind of flag she was wearing, I think it represents so many different countries. And like it or hate it, Trump will be victorious in a lot of these things that he's doing as it pertains to um, country relations. Some of these tariffs and all of these things that we've been reacting to, the markets have been reacting to adversely, eventually he will be victorious. That is what that is telling me. Our country, rather, it's not Trump. United States will come out on top, at least for a moment in this season. What I'm seeing, we just have to get past um, the transitional phase, right? But Spirit is saying that when we actually open up this DNA template, it's going to cause the Tower of Babel to fall. And the Tower of Babel, it describes humanity's attempt to build a city and tower reaching the heavens, which God disrupted by confusing their languages and scattering them across the earth. See, guys, this is bigger than race, what we're about to tap into. This is why they don't want Black people, you listening in to what your white DNA has to say. And adversely, white people, if we have Black DNA, then you must, if we have white DNA, you must have Black DNA too. And also, they don't want you listening into that. So they tell you, keep it pure, keep everything white, keep it pure. But I wonder if you were to sit within your own Black DNA, no matter how small, 1%, 2%, 5, 10, no matter what would it say to you? What codes would it reveal to you? In that moment of reflection, we could fix race relations just simply by listening to our own breath. So now, guys, the plot thickens. The plot is thickening here because Source is saying no. When we finally tap back in to this collective DNA, which Source is saying used to be one thought, consciousness, mind, until it was severed and split by the genius, which are ingenious. This is channeling. So Source is talking about a splicing of the DNA. Now, I'm channeling through automatic writing, Tower of Babel. Genesis 11, 1 through 9 describes humanity's attempt to build a city and tower reaching the heavens. What does that sound like? What have we been trying to do, guys? Have we not been trying to exit stage left and get out of the matrix? Doesn't this sound familiar? Humanity attempting to build a city that would tower and reach the heavens to reach enlightenment. If you tap into your DNA, won't you reach enlightenment? Won't you reach nirvana? Won't you reach heaven? And then it says, which God disrupted by confusing their languages and scattering them across the earth. What does this sound like? What did I just say? What did I just channel? The splicing of the DNA. Not wanting you to ascend. So wanting you to keep your DNA separate, which it says God disrupted by confusing their languages. They don't want you reading the code, the Black people reading the white DNA code and the white people reading their Black DNA code. They don't want you doing that because what? You will become one again. And what will you do? You will ascend to the heavens. You will ascend past this matrix. This is now getting deep. And I love when Source gives me a message and it takes a left turn. So on face value, me and my brother are talking about Why don't we feel as healthy as some of our other even darker siblings and cousins? We just notice the more pigmentation they have, they just feel they seem a little bit more sound than us. Like my sister, she has beautiful, like, oh my God, her skin is very, very beautiful. It's very red, dark with a red undertone. She's a lot of that native blood, that Cherokee from my mother's side. Her DNA is like strong as a rock. She barely gets sick. And we're just noticing it because we got a little bit more of our European genes being expressed, right? So it just started off with that conversation. But look where we ended. Source is saying they want to keep the Tower of Babel forever falling. Humanity must rebuild the Tower of Babel, bring back the DNA as one, no longer being confused about who we are separate. We're going to bring everything back as a collective. And then what are we going to do? We're going to ascend to the heavens. We are going to break out of their matrix. This is truly what Source is saying in this moment of reflection, in this moment. And now, as I look back at the image of Trump and this so to speak black woman that I saw just laying down, which reminded me of the Statue of Liberty, but she was wearing like a red flag, which could be Canadian, Korean of some sort, or Chinese, or it could represent the blood, right? Now, when I look at that, it becomes very clear to me that Source is saying we need to open up not just the Black DNA, but particularly the Black woman DNA template and feel into that, or rather, once we listen to our respective counterparts within our own DNA, we have to submit it all back into this template. This is truly what Source is saying. And I think that the Black woman is holding some codes for that template to be healed. And this is unexpected. I was not expecting that at all. So even to the Black women who have a lot of different DNA, you will have to heal that, because if you are the carrier of one of these templates, then humanity actually needs you whole and complete in order for us to grow and expand and to put the tower. It's not taking down the Tower of Babel like I thought. No, we as a collective, we're trying to rebuild it to ascend past their code and past their matrix. And one of their tricks was to split and slice the DNA, creating someone more fair skinned, creating something that remained dark in essence. That is the scattering that it talks about in Genesis. But in this moment, in order to ascend, in order to get to new earth, in order to get to Christ consciousness, we have no choice but to rebuild the Tower of Babel. And not only that, the Y DNA, the Y chromosome, the masculine DNA also has to be healed. And I know that my sister Lee has been talking about this a lot. Guys, subscribe to her channel. She's a channeler like myself, and I just know I, I I just I can feel I'm really synced into her messages, because one of the characters in the Cosmic Bible, that's actually her higher self. So subscribe to her channel. It's Soul Excursions with Mother Therial. with Mother Therial, okay? Um, she talks a great deal about healing the masculine because I'm also seeing too, and what I'm actually getting is the white masculine. It's all masculine, but see, it's interesting because the white males have had leadership over the past age. We have to help them heal first. Where the whole masculine template will heal, but I'm seeing that they have a very big role in this because they have been in leadership the most over the past age. I am seeing that. So we're going to start to put these pieces together. And this is going to be a series that I think could go on for weeks, if not months. And at the end of this, guys, when we listen into our DNA, at the end of this, what we're going to come out with is a completely healed template. We're going to merge, we're going to remove the slicing of the DNA. We're going to put back together the Tower of Babel. That's what we're going to be doing. And in the process, the masculine DNA will be getting healed, the divine masculine, because we need the masculine. Don't let people fool you. All these wars against feminine and masculine online, men against women, is all a trick too. It's another Tower of Babel that they want to get us in because they know we're coming out of the race one, because they know this was coming. So now, if they can push the agenda of men versus women, women versus men, then they can split us again. But we're not going to let that happen because our goal is 5D ascension. That is where we are heading. So this, I hope, starts the conversation. Um, and we will meet again very soon with this. But guys, please, at home, I want you to sit with the breaths, just the breath of life, and just ask your DNA what it wants to say. Black people, ask your white DNA what it wants to say. White people, ask your Black DNA what it wants to say. That's your homework. That's your homework. And the beauty about this whole thing, guys, is that you don't need anything external. And the beauty about this whole thing is that we have been told and taught. And yes, this is true. We were enslaved by white people. But I have to tell you, everyone here is recycled. If you are Black now, not just Black, but if you are living now, then you lived in the past, unless you've only had one lifetime. But most of us have taken multiple lifetimes in our soul contract. So who's to say that the white DNA that you need to heal may have been you? Who's to say that you weren't the slave owner? Who's to say that you weren't the one doing the lynching? Because we're all recycled. And as we know, this is a skin suit, it's a meat suit. They're going to give you whatever color meat suit that you need to come in here to this life and play a role and to complete your soul contract. So who's even to say, Black people, that the very person you're against, it could be you? I'm just saying, because that was so profound when I talked to this concept to my sisters. The very thing you're saying that someone else is doing to you could also possibly be what you have done to yourself. And this is how karma comes back around. Karma will not let you leave one stone unturned. If you are experiencing oppression now, then there's an aspect of you that is an oppressor. If you are the oppressor now, then there's an aspect of you that has been oppressed. We must experience both the duality, the polarity. I want you to think on that because the very thing that we've been told is outside of us, we got to find the healing from other people. No, they have to give us the healing. No, I'm here to tell you the heal once you heal your own DNA, your own white DNA, black people, white people healing your own black DNA. Once you heal that within self, it updates the template. And now everyone in the world shows up differently simply because you did the work. And we're going to rebuild the Tower of Babel. And this is how we're going to get to the next energy that the earth is pushing us to the Christ consciousness and to the new earth, into the 5D expanded consciousness. So, this is the beginning of the conversation. All right, guys, let's head over to Karmic Justice TV. I'm going to leave this video here. We're going to continue the conversation. I hope that you guys will join me. The handle for that is, Karmic, it's at Karmic Justice TV. And I'm going to go ahead and put the handle over here. And then that way we can all watch it together, guys. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So just head over to Karmic Justice TV, and it's also in the title of the video as well. But I will see you guys there. I hope that this message served you, and I look forward to working with you guys. If you want to work through your own DNA, if you want to find peace within your own DNA, guys, just book a session with me, either a quantum telepathic reading, or of course, the most healing session that I love to do is the quantum healing hypnosis, quantum telepathic hypnosis session, where we do the past life regression and we heal everything on a soul level, guys. But I love you, I love you, I love you. And so it is as we walk together in divine love, guys. I'll see you soon at Karmic Justice TV. Bye. Bye.